Parliament. Family of the fallen Raila Amolo Odinga remembers him as a loving father and as a leader, with Winnie Odinga recalling Baba's final moments. Coast residents joined the nation in mourning the enigma that is Raila Amolo Odinga. And we look at matters concerning the Kenya cybercrime law, with digital offences now attracting stiffer penalties. All right, a warm welcome to the bulletin right here on KUTV. My name is Emmanuel Kutosi, and joining us in the sign language interpretation is Francis Okenye to ensure we deliver to you a candid bulletin on matters that transpired today throughout the day. Now, the Parliament buildings were the venue for the final farewell to the late and former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, where top government and political leaders gathered to mourn him. President William Ruto arrived early to pay his respects in the very chambers where Raila once served as a legislator and opposition leader, leaving an indelible mark on Kenya's politics.
The day began on a somber note at Parliament buildings, where state officials and family gathered to pay their last respect to the late Raila Amolo Odinga. His body lay in state for public viewing, marking the start of the final journey of a man who defined Kenya's political landscape for decades. President William Ruto arrived at Parliament this morning, accompanied by First Lady Rachel Ruto and senior government officials, to pay his last respect to the late former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. The head of state was received by National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, Chief Justice Martha Koome, and Senate Speaker Amason Kingi. The president comforted the family of the late Raila Odinga, offering his condolences for a loss that has cast a cloud of grief across the nation, before signing the condolence book and leaving a message of sympathy.
Every soul shall taste death.
The body of the late Raila Odinga received final honors from all arms of the government, including the judiciary, represented by its officials, and other institutions that he helped shape through his decades of public service. From Parliament in Nairobi, the procession then made its way to Nyayo National Stadium, where the national funeral service was held.
Now, leaders, family members, and thousands of Kenyans converged at the Nyayo National Stadium in a moving state funeral for Raila Amolo Odinga, a man celebrated as one of the greatest heroes in Kenya's political history. Raila, who passed away on the 15th of October in India while undergoing treatment, was remembered for his fearless fight for justice and democracy.
At Nyayo Stadium, the nation came together in deep sorrow to mourn one of the heroes of Kenya's political history, the late Raila Amolo Odinga. It was a day of grief, a day of honor, and a day of reflection for a son of Africa who stood firmly for justice, democracy, and dignity.
We commit Raila Amolo Odinga.
The atmosphere was heavy, yet peaceful, inside the stadium filled with hundreds of Kenyans of all ages. Calmness prevailed as a mark of deep respect for a leader who touched many hearts. The casket of the late Raila Odinga, wrapped in the national flag, laid in state, was surrounded by guards of honor from the Kenya Defense Forces. Raila passed away on October 15 this year in India while undergoing treatment. His demise has left Kenyans, leaders, and his family in profound grief. The stadium was filled with sorrow as leaders described him as a champion of democracy and justice. Family members remembered him as a pillar of hope and a fearless fighter who fought for the nation's freedom. After the tributes, President Ruto joined the family and other leaders in viewing the body of the late Raila, followed by members of the public who, in an orderly and peaceful manner, were given a chance to pay their last respects, a clear reflection of the immense honor bestowed upon Raila. To many, Raila was not just a political figure, but a leader who was looked up by many people. Rose Kaguku, KUTV, Nairobi.
Now, the family of the late Raila Amolo Odinga has described him as a devoted husband, a loving father, and steadfast pillar whose humility and courage inspired the nation. During the state funeral at Nyayo Stadium, his daughter Winnie Odinga shared touching memories of her final moments with Raila and his enduring faith in Kenya's future.
At Nyayo Stadium, an air of sadness filled the arena as thousands gathered to bid farewell to former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Amid tears and tributes, his widow Ida Odinga urged mourners to remain peaceful, reminding them that Raila always stood for unity, justice, and lasting peace among all Kenyans.
One thing that I know that Raila stood for, and he keep on repeating, is that we need peace in our nation. We need peace in our homes. And peace will not survive in a situation, in a chaotic situation. For that reason, I appeal, today I appeal, let us mourn Raila in peace.
With deep emotion, Oburu Odinga reflected on his brother's passing, describing Raila as a lifelong friend and trusted confidant. He said Raila's wisdom, resilience, and commitment to justice shaped not just their family, but the destiny of an entire nation.
Brother loved justice from the beginning. He loved to hear news. And one day he was late in school, and when the teacher asked him what he was doing, he said he was still listening to the radio. He wanted to hear news. And he was only at standard 3, standard 4. So Raila was a no-nonsense man. He entertained no mediocrity. Raila did not want mediocrity.
Amid heartfelt tributes, Rosemary Odinga remembered her father as her closest confidant and lifelong mentor. She described him as a guiding light whose humility and strength left an enduring mark on her life and the hearts of countless Kenyans.
To me, he was my advisor. He was a friend. He was also someone who understood me very well and my children and my siblings. Until today, it is still very difficult. I mean, Ni uchungu mwingi sana ambao tunahisi kama familia.
Winnie Odinga spoke next, remembering her father with deep affection. She said she felt like the luckiest daughter in the world, recalling his lessons that true leadership is demonstrated through love, justice and action, but not authority or power.
I don't know who I'll miss more, my dad or my superhero. I've been the luckiest girl in the world because you are my dad. Only 3 other human beings were as lucky as me: Fidel, Rosie, and Junior. Dad, you are light, steady, unyielding, and deeply human.
Raila Jr. Odinga, the youngest son, described his father as his hero and moral compass, a man who always stood for what was right. He vowed to uphold his father's legacy by championing the values of justice, fairness, and service to others.
I thank God for you and for everything you have meant to me. You have run your race with honor, and may grace now lead you home. May the ancestors receive you and rest well. Nindikwe, Baba, Aheri, Asante Baba, Asante Baba, Asante Baba, Joy, Joy, Joy.
As the ceremony concluded, the Odinga family stood hand in hand, vowing to honor Raila's legacy through unity and service, and urging Kenyans to uphold his vision of peace and justice. Edna Nerea, KUTV, Nairobi.
From detention cells to the corridors of power, the late Raila Amolo Odinga, fondly known as Baba, lived a life defined by courage, resilience, and reinvention. His political journey spanned generations, shaping the course of Kenya's democracy. Tonight, we trace the remarkable path of a man who bent with the wind, but never broke.
In Kenya's unpredictable political landscape, one name has weathered the storm and tides of time, regime after regime.
Raila Amolo Odinga.
In his long-running political career spanning over 5 decades, the late Raila Odinga earned himself many names, including Baba, Jacom, Agwambo, and Tinga, each carrying the weight of a different era of his political journey. Take Baba, for example, a name born by Kenyans under the phrase Baba while you were away during the Uhuru Ruto regime. Raila, who had taken a brief tour out of the country after another failed presidential bid against the duo, earned the name.
Kwa hivyo tumesema ati ndani ya siku 60, siku ya 77, mpaka tuketi chini sisi kama Wakenya na kuanza kuzungumza.
Raila's story did not begin in parliament or the ballot box, but behind bars, detained for 6 years under President Daniel Arap Moi's government after being accused of links to the 1982 coup attempt. He emerged from prison not broken, but sharper. When multi-party politics was restored in 1991, Raila returned to the ring, carrying both scars and lessons. He joined Ford, then Ford Kenyas, before branching off to form the National Development Party, NDP, his first major political vehicle. In 2001, Raila's decision to merge NDP with Moi's ruling KANU shocked the country. How could a man once jailed by the regime join it? Raila defended the move as a chance to reform the system from within. Like many of his decisions after that, some saw opportunism, while others saw strategy. When Moi later announced Uhuru Kenyatta as his preferred successor, Raila walked away, helping to form the Rainbow Coalition that later swept KANU out of power in 2002. His rallying call, Kibaki Tosha, became one of the most political endorsements in Kenya's history.
Siku hiyo hiyo tulibuni chama cha ADP, alafu vile vile tukaunganisha ADP na 4 people for the Rainbow Coalition.
As Kenyans celebrated Mwai Kibaki's victory, Raila's supporters expected him to share power in equal measure, but political promises soon faded, and by 2005, he was leading yet another revolt, this time against a government he had helped create. The Orange campaign during the democratic referendum turned into a full-blown political movement. When Kibaki's draft constitution was rejected, Raila's faction rebranded itself into the Orange Democratic Movement. It was a new home, born from dissolution but fueled by resistance. Through the years, Raila endured losses that could have ended most political careers. The disputed 2007 elections, the 2013 and 2017 defeats, and the heartbreak of 2022. Each was, yet each time he came back, often stronger and sometimes alongside those who had once been his fierce rivals. The 2018 handshake with President Uhuru Kenyatta after years of political hostility was the ultimate act of political metamorphosis. Critics called it betrayal, while supporters saw it as statesmanship. Even in his later years, Raila continued to surprise. As ODM entered cooperation pacts with the ruling UDA, his flexibility remained the talk of town, proof that even out of power, he understood how to stay at the center of it all. Raila Odinga's political life was a lesson in endurance. He may never have won the presidential seat he so long pursued, but he changed the course of Kenya's politics in ways no title could define. Yvonne Kimuma, KUTV.
Thank you, Yvonne Kimuma, for that report. Indeed, however much he did not take the presidency, he literally took our hearts. And on another related report, President William Ruto, while relaying his speech at the Nyayo National Stadium, noted Raila as a notable dignitary, one who was very passionate in his journey as a politician. Ruto looked on matters concerning the importance of ensuring unity and also oneness within the country despite political persuasion. Take a look.
Noble task of statecraft and nation building, there is room for all of us, competitors and collaborators, rivals and allies, bound together by one higher purpose, the greater good of our republic. Fellow citizens, those who worked closely with the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga know that he was irrevocably stubborn in his vision for a just, prosperous, and united Kenya. We have come a very long way with Baba. When I stood by him with the other Pentagon members at a defining moment in his and our nation's history, I neither knew that one day we would find ourselves on opposite sides, nor could I have imagined that years later he would stand by me, this time to steady the nation and to help anchor my leadership, culminating in the birth of the broad-based government. To you, Baba, I owe you, and I am true to the faith he has served his people and humanity. It is our solemn prayer to the Almighty God that the soil of the land which Honorable Raila so tirelessly served shall embrace him with grace.
And within the same beat, former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta joined President William Ruto, visiting heads of state and diplomats and thousands of Kenya at Nyayo National Stadium for the state funeral of Raila Amolo Odinga. Uhuru described Raila as a patriot who fought fearlessly for democracy, justice and unity, while President Ruto highlighted his courage and unifying spirit as leaders united in tribute.
Kwa sababu Raila hangeweza kutenda yale ambayo alitenda kama angekuwa amesimamiwa na mama nguvu wa kazi, Mama Aida Odinga, na watoto wake Rosemary, Junior, Winnie na familia yake yote. Kwa Wakenya tunawashukuru kwa kutupatia Raila atumikie nchi, na kwa kumuunga mkono ndio awe na nguvu ya kututumikia sisi wote. Kwa hivyo ndugu yangu, ni kuombee kwa Mwenyezi Mungu akurehemu, akulaze na amani na wenzako, ukijua ya kwamba twakumbuka wewe na yale ambao umebakisha tutaendelea nayo, na familia yako sasa imekuwa yetu, na tutaendelea kuwalinda na kuwachunga na kusimama pamoja nao kwa wakati wote. Nasema lala salama ndugu.
And Migori residents held a candlelight vigil in the town's central business district to honor the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Led by county leaders, they praised him as a selfless statesman who championed democracy, peace and unity. The county government pledged to provide transport for residents traveling to Bondo for his burial on Sunday.
Including the area MPs, including everybody there, we are very sorry and we are very, very much saddened to lose Raila Amolo Odinga.
Tunaomba ya kwamba William Ruto jua ya kwamba wakati uliungana na Raila Amolo Odinga uliungana na yeye kwa sababu ya Wakenya, na Wakenya lazima wakuwe moja.
Nawaomba wananchi wote wa Kenya wakati huu wa majonzi kuu tushirikiane katika kueneza uvumilivu na amani ili Kenya iendelee.
Great in his end, just as he was great in his living. That is none other than Raila Amolo Odinga, a leader whose influence is greatly impactful on the democracy of this young republic. We come back in a moment after this short break with more reports. Panda. Our planet's future is in our hands. However, there is a threat to the brightness of this tomorrow. On EarthCheck, we share the challenges, the solutions, and the hope.
I would call this a very momentous day, a very critical day.
Every episode, every story, every step we take creates a ripple. Join me, the environmentalist Emmanuel Kutosi, on KUTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and be part of EarthCheck. Welcome.
Wa jamii. Kupanda shuka akawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake nami Caroline Kimwele.
Welcome back to the broadcast. That is the KUTV Prime Time News Friday edition. We head on to the coastal region where Mombasa residents joined the nation in mourning the late Raila Amolo Odinga as the coastal city fell into silence, with most businesses closed in respect. At Uhuru Gardens at Mamangina waterfront, crowds followed the state funeral broadcast, remembering a leader they called a friend of the coast. And elsewhere, Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi has assured that Nyanza will remain in government and support President William Ruto in line with the late Raila Odinga's wishes. Speaking at Opodo Farm, Wandayi urged residents to uphold Raila's legacy of unity and peace and hailed Dr. Oburu Oginga's appointment as ODM interim leader.
Has left us as a people in government. Baba Raila Amolo Odinga has left us in government led by President William Ruto. And that is where we are going to stay. Till the end. Till the end. And I can dare say, without any fear of contradiction, that we are going to walk step by step with President William Ruto to the end. Now and beyond 2027. That I must say from here. I must say from here. And ODM, which is the party that I belong to, and that all of us here belong to, has made a very wise decision to appoint Dr. Oburu Oginga as the acting party leader. In fact, I will be proposing as a life member of ODM that the ODM convenes very, very quickly, soon after Baba's send-off, the National Delegates Convention, to actually confirm Dr. Oburu's appointment and in fact to elect him formally as the party leader of ODM. Because we believe Dr. Oburu Oginga has got the wherewithal, the necessary experience and the composure to steer this party to the next level, whilst working closely with our partners in the broad-based government, who are UDA, led by President William Ruto. So I want to remove any doubts whatsoever from whomsoever's mind that this region will remain intact.
And now on to legal matters, where Kenya's digital space is now under tougher scrutiny following the signing of the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Amendment Act of 2024 by President William Ruto. The new law introduces stricter penalties and new offenses to curb digital fraud, harassment and identity theft. But what do the changes mean for Kenyans? From mobile money scams to online bullying, cybercrime has increasingly found its way into Kenyan homes. The new amendment to the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act of 2024 aims to keep pace with this growing digital threat.
Your Excellency, the next bill is a Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 41 of 2024.
First, the law now makes it a specific offense to swap another person's SIM card without permission, a move targeting fraudsters who hijack phone numbers to access bank accounts. Offenders risk up to 2 years in jail or a fine of 200,000 shillings.
The bill seeks to provide a regulatory framework combating unlawful activities, inappropriate sexual content of minors, terrorism or religious extremism.
Cyber harassment has also been redefined, now covering communications that could push a victim to self-harm or suicide. It remains a serious offense, attracting a fine of up to 20 million shillings or a 10-year jail term.
Okay. Alafu unacheza tu hivyo
Ukimaliza hiyo levels, hii pesa inatumwa kwa account yako.
Okay.
And you withdraw.
Yes.
Ukule pesa.
Victims can now see quick court orders, even outside working hours, to compel abusers to stop contact, and service providers can now be directed to reveal an offender's identity.
Yes, Peter. Welcome. Welcome.
The law also expands the offense of phishing. Fraudsters can no longer hide behind fake calls. Voice scams are now punishable by up to 3 years in prison or a fine of 300,000 shillings.
That we have currently, we have the persons who those who borrow, repay, and come and borrow and repay.
And in a more controversial move, authorities can now order internet providers to block websites or apps that promote child pornography, terrorism, or other illegal content.
And cultism, amongst other forms of cybercrimes, thereby advancing the gains made by the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Amendment Act.
The amendment also clarifies key terms like identity theft and digital assets, giving prosecutors a stronger ground to pursue cases involving stolen virtual property.
African youth are pioneering advances in fintech, agri-tech, renewable energy, and digital services. They are a generation which has been socialized to internalize technology as a basic need and way of life.
While experts welcome the stronger penalties, concerns remain about how far the government powers could extend in regulating online content. The government says it's about safety, but the debate on privacy and free speech is just beginning.
Public Works, Housing and Urban Development.
40 minutes past the top of the hour, and we take our second break right here on the Friday edition of the KUTV Primetime News. Don't go too far, because in a moment we come back with some sports reports.
Msimu mpya, uso mpya, nguvu mpya bila shaka na ari mpya. Lakini dhamira ni ile ile. Kuboresha kilimo kwa maisha bora. Jiunge nami James Baraka na nahodha wako mpya wa kipindi cha Boresha Kilimo, tunapochunguza mbinu za kisasa za kilimo, ukipenda teknolojia ibuka katika kilimo, maoni ya wataalamu na hadithi za mafanikio kutoka kila pembe ya taifa. Kutoka kwa wakulima wadogo hadi biashara za kilimo zilizostawi, tunakuvika maarifa na suluhisho kamili, si tu za kuongeza mazao yako, bali pia kuimarisha maisha yako. Kila Jumamosi saa 6:30 na Jumanne saa 4 asubuhi, usipitwe na baraka za Boresha Kilimo, nami James Baraka, hapa hapa KUTV.
A new era, a new people. This is the Law Matters Show. A program that brings you legal sensitization on your television.
My statement is written and just the quote the prosecution.
I think that this loss is a setback for Raila Odinga.
What policy recommendations were fronted by the candidate?
With diversity, we demystify important legal issues locally, regionally, and internationally.
What Tanzanians.
Join me, Elvin Onsongo, as I bring you more insights on law matters.
We are looking at social issues. What is the problem? Is it the economy? Is it...
Law Matters Show, creating awareness, advocacy, and enhancing lives.
It's now time to get sporty, where Kenya Police FC's hopes of advancing in the CAF Confederation Cup suffered a blow after losing 1-0 to Al Hilal of Libya at the Nyayo Stadium. Now, the visitors struck through Adama Coulibaly in the first half, leaving Kenya Police to chase an away win in the return leg on the 24th of October in Libya to keep their continental dreams alive. Well, we have come to the end of the Friday edition of the KUTV Prime Time News. Thank you for maintaining your viewing right here on KUTV to get the latest reports. Of course, we continue paying our condolences to the family and also Kenyans mourning the passing of a phenomenal leader, that is Raila Amolo Odinga. And looking through the social media handles, very many messages have been coming through, just noting that indeed a great tree has fallen within the Republic of Kenya. To the whole team involved in the production of tonight's broadcast, led by my producer Yvonne Monari, it's a big thank you and bravo for ensuring a success of tonight's broadcast, and also the team behind the decks ensuring that this transmission is coming to you in a way that is slick and quite on point. Big bravo to them. From me, Emmanuel Kutosi, and Francis Okinyi in the sign language interpretation, it's good night. And of course, to our fallen leader, Nyasaye oket chunye kama ber. Good night.